of Israel, our home, our heart, and our soul.
Today, we bring you a special presentation sure to light up your heart, bring a tear to your eye, and a smile to your face as we reenact some of the most historic events that led to the creation of the State of Israel and share a taste of how Israel has grown throughout the decades.
So sit back and relax as we take you in a magical time machine. Our first stop, July 11th, 1947, as the famous ship the Exodus is forced to return back to Europe after reaching the shores of Palestine.
This is a news flash. Today, July 11th, 1947, the SS Exodus, a ship carrying hundreds of Jewish immigrants from France to Palestine, is seized by the Royal British Navy. All passengers aboard are being held and turned away, forced to return to Europe.
I'm sorry, but this ship must turn around right now and return to where it came.
You can't do this, not after all we've been through.
What gives you the right? We've traveled so far.
We belong here, we have paper.
That's not my concern. Now get back on that ship or you're going to be arrested and thrown in jail.
A more painful and difficult experience cannot be imagined for these weary people who are mostly Holocaust survivors trying to reach their homeland. How much more injustice must they endure?
Later, the UN would hold a historic vote to grant Israel statehood. But as you will see, it wasn't so easy. Watch.
Those who are in favor will say yes, those who are against will say no, and the abstainers know what to say. Afghanistan.
No!
Argentina.
Abstain!
Guatemala.
Yes!
Lebanon.
No!
Yugoslavia.
Abstain!
United Kingdom.
Abstain!
Philippines.
Yes!
United States.
Yes!
Venezuela.
Yes!
France.
Yes! The resolution of the Ad Hoc Committee for Palestine was adopted by 33 votes, 13 against 10 abstained.
The date is the 14th of May, 1948, the 5th day of ER, 5708, the place, Tel Aviv.
Surrounded by his forming government, David Ben-Gurion formally declares the establishment of the State of Israel. Here's what it sounded like.
We shall now read you the scroll of the establishment of the state, which has passed its first reading by the National Council.
We, members of the People's Council, representatives of the Jewish community of Eretz Israel, by virtue of our natural and historic right, and on the strength of the resolution of the United Nations General Assembly, hereby declare the establishment of a Jewish state in Eretz Israel to be known as the State of Israel.
Let us us accept the foundation scroll of the Jewish state by rising and reciting the Shechachiyanu prayer.
On May 14, 1948, the ongoing unrest between Israel and the Arab states grew into a regional conflict we all know as the War of Independence.
You and I will change the world, and then all will follow.
You and I will try with all our might.
It may be hard, but no matter, you and I will change the world.
During the 1950s, the population of Israel had more than doubled. Most of those who arrived were Jewish refugees from the Middle East and North Africa. Since housing for all of them was quite a challenge, they lived in what was called a ma'abero. It was a camp with many tents.
People also began living in kibbutzim and moshavim, the rural communities of Israel. They took care of each other and had fun doing lots of things like Israeli dancing, just like this one called Al Haderech.
Let's go out on that path as one golden chain, hand in hand, one nation in song.
With such unity, together we will surely reach the gates of heaven.
And if the journey seems long, we will not tire. We will make it together.
Great Migration of the Sephardic Jews.
During 1950 and 1951, special operations were undertaken to bring many Jewish families to Israel because they were in danger where they lived.
Operation Magic Carpet brought Jews from Yemen and Eden. Operation Ezra and Nehemiah brought a whole Jewish community from Iraq.
Many Jews also came from Libya, Turkey, and Iran, as well as North African countries such as Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria.
This new and wonderful community of people would bring much of their own Jewish customs, responsible for creating a new, colorful fabric of Israeli culture.
Artists like Shoshana Zamari, who was born in Yemen, brought the music of her homeland that fit perfectly in the new Israeli culture. Listen as we hear Afra Haza sing the famous song Imnin Alu, and her class performs an authentic Yemenite Israeli dance for you.
Poets like Yemen Moshe, Dalia Ravikovich, Naomi Polani, and Leah Goldberg inspired the new 60s generation to look deeper at themselves and their own creativity and spiritual growth.
Throughout the 1960s, Israel evolved. The famous Hadassah Hospital was founded along with the Jewish Medical University School.
Cities like Tel Aviv became more developed because people were enjoying going out, dancing, and having fun with one another.
But throughout this time, there are growing tensions between Israel's neighboring countries. These threats led to what has become known in 1967 as the Six-Day War, a miraculous victory for Israel, a small but powerful country surrounded by those who wish to harm it.
Did you hear? We're gonna have another war again.
I am prepared to fight and protect Israel from all who would wish our harm.
Be safe and come on soon. We will all pray for you.
Here's why we are dedicated to protecting Israel with all our heart, all our soul, and all our strength.
Israel is a holy land, a gift from God.
You can see the history of our past everywhere you turn.
Jerusalem, especially when the sun shines on Jerusalem stone.
Ben Yehuda Street, where everyone goes to be together and eat falafel.
The beautiful mountains, desert, and the Dead Sea.
The Kotel, the Western Wall, Masada.
Israel is a free nation where many religions are free to exist and be represented.
A place where everybody can pray and express themselves freely. Israel is a place where you can feel God's presence.
We are all one family in Israel, and we will protect each other and her right to exist.
The state of Israel will live forever.
Israel will be a beacon of lights for all nations.
God bless Israel and all who protect her. Okay.
Inspired generations of Israeli citizens from all walks of life.
So many of her other songs are beloved, including this one called Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, Jerusalem of Gold, which became known as the second unofficial anthem of the state of Israel.
Enjoy this wonderful song by our classmates.
Salukayim, Vereyahor
ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלו לכל שירייך אני כינור.
ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלו לכל שירייך אני כינור.
אוויר הרים צלוק היין וריח אורנים,
נישא ברוח הארבעים עם פעמונים.
ובתלדמתי ואבן שרויה בחלומו, העיר אשר בדד יושבת ובליבה אומה.
ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלו לכל שירייך אני כינור. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלו לכל שירייך אני כינור.
Comedy was also a very important form of entertainment in Israel during the 1970s. People would gather at clubs and cafes and listen to comedians like Hagashasha Heaver. If you were there one night, you might have seen this. Now please welcome our greatest comedy team, Joey, Ethan, Joya, and Ella.
There is a well-known midrash about how God offered the 10 Commandments to a number of nations, which are refused, before he offered it to the Jews. What isn't very well known is the inside story. So God went to the first nation and asked them if they would like a commandment.
What's a commandment?
God said, "Thou shalt not work on the Sabbath." Then the nation thought about it and then said,
Oh, no thanks. That would ruin our weekends.
Then God went to the next nation and asked them if they would like a commandment.
Well, what's a commandment?
God said, one is, "Thou shalt not steal." The nation immediately replied,
No way. That would ruin our economy.
Next, finally, God went to the Jews and asked them if they would like a commandment. They asked,
Well, how much?
they're free.
Great, we'll take 10.
What kind of cheese can you eat on Pesach? Mozzarella. Who is the best businesswoman in the Bible? Pharaoh's daughter. She pulled the prophet out of the water. How did God help Moses with his migraines? He gave him 2 tablets. What did one Israeli flag say to the other? Nothing, it just waved.
The first Jewish president of the United States has been inaugurated. So the first Jewish holiday that follows it is Purim. So the president calls his mom up and asks her if he can join her at the White House for Purim. Their conversation goes something like this.
Mom, with Purim being the first holiday after my inauguration, I would like to spend it with you at the White House.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to get to the airport.
Mom, I'm the President of the United States. I'll send a limo for you to take right to the airport.
But when I get to the airport, I'll have to get in line to buy a ticket and check my baggage. Oh, it'll be so difficult for me.
Mom, I'm the most powerful person in the world. I'm the president. I'll send Air Force One for you.
But when I get to Washington, I'll have to find a cab.
Mama, please. I'll have a helicopter waiting. It will take you right to the White House lawn.
But where will I stay? Can I get a hotel room?
We have the whole White House. It's huge. There will be plenty of room. Please join me for Purim.
Okay, I'll be there.
2 seconds later, she calls her friend Sadie.
Hello, Sadie. Guess what? I'm spending Purim at my son's house.
Oh, the doctor?
No, the other one.
An old Jewish man is knocked down by a passerby and is brought to the local hospital. The nurse tucks him in bed and says, "Mr. Cohen, are you comfortable?" He says, I make a living.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Vashti.
Vashti who?
Vashti says, and I'll give you a helmet tush.
Did you hear about the Jewish ATM machine? When you take out some money, it says to you, "What did you do with the last $50 I gave you?"
3 Jewish parents get together for lunch. As they're being seated at the restaurant, one takes a deep breath and lets out a long, slow, oi. The second takes as well and lets out a long, slow, oi. Third takes a deep breath and says impatiently, "Hey everyone, I thought we agreed that we weren't going to talk about our children."
My father is a typical Jewish parent. Once, he was on jury duty. They sent him home because he insisted he was guilty.
1, 2, 3. Thank you for being such a good audience.
In the late 1970s, our President of the United States, President Jimmy Carter, wanted to see peace come between Egypt and Israel. On March 26, 1979, this dream would finally be reached. Please listen as we hear Egyptian President Anwar Sadat, Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin, and President Jimmy Carter reach their historic agreements.
It's been more than 2,000 years since there was peace between Egypt and a free Jewish nation. If our present expectations are realized, we shall see such peace again. I would like to give tribute to the 2 men who made this impossible task possible. President Anwar Sadat of Egypt, and of course, Prime Minister Menachem Begin of the nation of Israel.
Today I tell you, and I declare it to the whole world, that we accept to live with you in permanent peace based on justice. We're looking forward to the days ahead with an added determination to pursue the noble goal of peace.
My dear citizens of Israel, when you hear these words, it will be morning, and the sun will shine in the land of our fathers and sons. We have made every possible human effort that the day may come when each of us can say, "Peace has come to our people and to our land," not only for this generation, but for the generations to come. With the help of God, together we can achieve this goal.
By the time the 1980 rolled around, Israel had endured 4 wars and had just signed its first peace agreement with Egypt.
The Knesset, which is the governing body of Israel, passed the Jerusalem Law, which established Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
Israel's innovations enrich lives all around the world.
From health breakthroughs to technology, agriculture, the environment, and the arts, Israel plays a significant role in the most difficult challenges facing our planet. Please watch the screen to see some of Israel's greatest technological achievements.
In 1995, a very sad thing happened.
Israel had a wonderful prime minister named Yitzhak Rabin. Everybody liked him and he wanted to make peace with the Arab countries.
One day, during a peace rally, a very angry young man shot the prime minister because he did not agree with his opinions. This was wrong.
We learn from this that it is better to use words than violence.
This song was written and sung at Yitzhak Rabin's funeral, a song for peace which still rings true to this day.
In the 21st century, Israel was more and more influenced by American culture.
Tourism is blossoming. Everyone is traveling to Israel to have a vacation or to study.
People are coming from all over the world, becoming a global community.
Although our people continue to withstand disapproval from around the world, it never diminished Israel's spirit.
In fact, it has only strengthened our people's resolve to be a light onto the nation.
Our people have demonstrated their dedication to making this world a better place.
We have created some of the most important inventions and cures to illnesses that have made this world a healthier and better place to live.
Israel helps countries all over the world, supplying them with medicine, food, fuel, clothing, and more, not because we have to, but because we know it is the right thing to do.
We always pray for a future of peace and friendship, and may we all find ourselves next year in Jerusalem.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for